You suck at painting, yeah, you totally suck. Hello and welcome. Today we are painting an ultramarine, also called a blueberry, or an ultrasmurf. And in this case, we are painting the ultrasmurf called Titus from the hit video game Space Marine 2. And as you can see, he is already primed, and we have also made up the base with some basing bits like stones and some grass tufts, and we have covered the entire rest of the base with Vallejo thick mud. Hi Tubies, here's Alexandra. Well, we will start with scale color deep blue or any other really dark blue tone that you have. Put some on the palette, a little bit of water in it for better flow. We take a big fluffy old brush and we will paint the entire armor with this. Just like that. So that takes a while, and I leave it to dry then, and we will be back in a second. So now that our Space Marine is now in a deep blue color, we can start with highlighting this miniature. We start with Canterbury blue from Scale Color, or any brighter blue color than your starting blue. And the brush that we are using is a very fluffy big makeup brush. We take a little bit of that color on our palette, and then we are going to dry brush the entire armor so that we have the nice deep color in the deepest recesses, but this color here on the main body. We want to have a very fluffy dry brush like this one here. This is a makeup brush because as you can see, we don't get a very streaky dry brushing as if we would use a very stiff dry brush for that. If your paint runs out, load up the brush once more and then keep on brushing. So don't worry if you don't hit every single spot. What you can't reach is basically shadow. So, now we take an even brighter blue. For this I will use Vallejo Model Color Magic Blue. And we will make a mixture out of this and the Canterbury blue. A little bit more of that. There we go. Get rid of most of the color again. And now we start stippling. We stipple from above. And we are simulating a light source with that from above. And with that we get nice color transitions. the blue. So basically this whole section here will be in the darkness, the shadow. So now we will add even brighter blue to the mix. In this case I use sky blue. Just take a little bit, mix it in. And we'll gently stipple on more. With the stippling we also get more or less texture on the miniature. Okay. Now let's wash the brush real quick. After the painting session we have to rinse this brush under some running water. Now I'm taking a smaller stippling brush and I'm using pure sky blue now. To get even smaller surface. With that I can stipple in very targeted areas. Yeah, the color should get a little bit more attention. Then here the knee pad. Front of his boot. Maybe here the side. And there we go. Let's rinse that brush. And now we go for an even smaller brush. I have them here. Even smaller. And we'll use some white. Mix that in to make a very, very nice light blue. And with that we'll stipple some final highlights. I know the armor looks a little bit messy right now, but trust me, in the end it will look awesome when we add a little bit of edge highlighting and also have all the details nicely picked out. This will give the the armor overall a nice character. Yeah, that's basically it about the stippling of the armor. In the next step, I will, off camera, paint all the silver parts of this miniature. So, be right back. Okie dokie, there we are back, and as you can see, I've painted all the metal parts and all the gold parts on Titus. And you might actually see, yeah, this is not actually the Titus miniature. This is a conversion I have done. I've made a video before for that. So, for example, here the knee pad with the ultramarine symbol should be on this knee on actual Titus, but this miniature is based on the Lieutenant Cassius miniature from Warhammer Conquest, and so he had the ultramarine symbol on this knee. So also he is lacking the ultramarine symbol here on the front chest, and another detail that is missing here in the middle of the backpack should be a skull. This is also missing. Here, this part here, normally this is a box with a little bone in it. I didn't have that bit, so I put on this little bit here, but overall he is a very close approximation of a Lieutenant Titus. So, in order to continue, we will now paint the stripes on his helmet, and we need, first of all, a white for that. I use now here Corax white. Yes, I know people are screaming, oh, this is the most terrible white, but actually this is a gray, and for a gray this is a very, very great color. And what we will do is we will paint here the this little rim on his helmet with this white. Just like that. So now comes the hard part. So this white extends a little bit outside of the rim. So we'll just simply paint it like that, and then we will follow that line down to the eye. Like that. So, same thing on the other side. It helps if you steady yourself. So, for example, I have now here this miniature on a painting holder. I'm forcing it onto the surface. My hand is resting, so this is not moving. Then I'm also resting my finger on the painting handle, and so I can hopefully get a not dry tip and make a very accurate line here. So again, following this, sorry, out of focus. So this will then completely paint it in white. I had to double check here if the skull on his forehead is actually silver or red or gold, and it turns out it is silver. So, okay. The white part is now done. Ta-da! It looks relatively accurate. Okay. That was the easy part. Now comes the hard part. We will take for that my fist on red. bit on the palette. A little bit tiny. Oh, that's too much. Tiny bit of water in it. Yeah, that should be good. Okay. Now let's try to paint a red stripe. Let's start in the middle. And slowly extend to the side. Okay, this side looks good. Now the other way. Okay. And now let's continue down. Just like that. Don't forget to breathe in between. It's very important. We don't want you to collapse during painting because of a lack of oxygen. Okay. And I think we are done here. Yeah, that's the helmet. Now, let's see. The eye color should be red. On his helmet. Yeah, he has red eyes. So, let's get some more. Eye number 1. Eye number 2. Eye. So there are obviously more red details, like for example here the little star on the shoulder, then all his purity seals and so on. This I will do off camera. This is nothing very important for you to see, but let's take some Evil Sun Scarlet. For the front of the islands. Like that. The same on the other side. There we go. Okay, and now with the white, we'll make a tiny little dot in the corner there, just like that. To make it look shiny. So, what else is there to do? Yeah, can quickly paint here the ultramarine symbol on his shoulder. Then, like I said, here the knee pad should be on the other side, but we'll just simply ignore that. So we will keep the blue that we have previously painted. And just paint the white around it. Okay, there we have it. So, next steps. The washing stage. We will take some Agrax Earthshade and we will quickly give all the gold areas a nice wash with it. To give it more three-dimensional appearance. And we will do the same with all the metal parts. We will give it a wash with Nuln Oil. And, well, off camera I will do the following. I will paint all the tiny little details, like here the red on the shoulder, then here bone color for the skull, a little bit parchment here. I will paint the pouches in brown. I will base coat here the loincloth and all the purity seals, and obviously give it a wash. This is all stuff that you don't need to follow me here on camera. You know what to do. And also I will tidy up the black on the weapon. Yeah, and then he's almost done. Be right back. Well, hello there. For you, it might have been just a second until this step, but for me it was several days. So he is definitely dry now. Let's see what we left off with. So the last step, I think I remember, was that I've base coated some new parts here around the miniature, like here on the parchment papers and his pouches. The purity seals were painted in Rakarth Flesh. The pouches I painted in Doombull Brown. And yeah, that's about it. The stone texture here was done in Mechanicus Standard Grey. These here are also Rakarth Flesh. And well, let's continue on. The next step I would do now is well, add some shading to all the parchment, and for that I take some seraphim sepia and we'll simply shade those. I like seraphim sepia for that kind of stuff because it is a very light brown that you can use. It's not overpowering for parchment purposes and stuff. But we still need enough to make an impact on the recesses. So don't be shy with that stuff. Otherwise we're just slightly tinting the top surface. And that's not what we want. We want to create a shadow on the various surfaces. Like here, the skull and the scroll, for example. Don't forget to paint the back side as well. Okay, so then let's take a look at here the plant work. Let's give it a quick coat of plague-bearer flesh. There's a little bit too much. There we go. Then again, the skulls could get away with a wash of seraphim sepia as well. There we go. So then let's give the stone a wash of non-oil. Also here on the base a little bit. So, also a pro tip for all of you that use natural hair brushes like I do. This here is a Kolinsky brush. And if your brush tip is starting to spread out like that, for example, the thing you can do to counterbalance that after cleaning the brush properly is using a hairdryer on it, because natural hairs have the tendency to, well, stick to a specific shape if you apply heat to them. That's the basis for, well, women hair styling, like a hairdryer and stuff. And yeah, you can definitely apply that to your brushes if you, well, grant them proper cleaning with some isopropyl alcohol to get rid of junk here in the middle, then maybe some brush soap, and you have properly cleaned your brush. Give it a nice tip like that, and then while it is still wet or damp, you apply your hairdryer for a few seconds to the brush, and then leave it overnight, and the next day you should have a better tip than you had before. So Also here the pouches could also need some non-oil. I forgot. So then here maybe the blades of the chainsaw, the chain sword. Yeah, on the other parts of the metal I have already touched, like here for example the recesses in his armor, the ones there, and so on. Ah, hey, his bolt pistol I forgot. Let's rectify that. So, and with that, he is almost done. He is already battle ready at this stage, but we can do some final highlights with him now. I leave that here, the wash to dry, and then we come back and do some final edge highlighting on him. And well, you know what? I will stay here for a second longer, and we will highlight the gold. Why don't we? Why don't we? So, some gold on the palette, and then you see we have painted this previously with a wash, and now we will paint 2/3 of that wing in gold again, so that we have a recess in dark brown. Just like that. Same goes here for the laurels. Top parts of the laurels. Then here we go over the shoulder a little bit. To make it nice and shiny again. Oh, there you go. You see, I've made a huge mistake. I painted a brush stroke of gold over there while it is still wet. Let's hope I can correct this. I was a little bit too slow, but we still have the same color, so that's more of this one here. So let's fix that really quick. Ta-da! Blue fixed. Let's continue with the gold. Okay, now we need some very shiny silver. I'm using here heavy metal from Scale Color, but you could also use the silver variant of any other brand, as long as it's nice and shiny. And then we will paint the very tips as a nice reflection. And voila, we have a very nice rich gold color here. See? Okay, then maybe here the edge of the shoulder blade, shoulder pad, just the very tip, Not the entire thing, just a little bit here and a little bit there. Don't overdo it, otherwise it will read as silver instead of gold. Just a tiny bit is enough. Quick edge highlight there and there, and we're done. So I will leave the rest to dry now, and then we will finish him up with some edge highlights on the armor. And we have our blueberry. Be right back. Okie dokie, there we are back. And now we take a very, very bright blue, like a space wolf blue or something like that. And we'll use that now for some really fancy edge highlights. So first of all, you flatten your brush. You do a motion like this, turn it around, do it like that, and then you get a very nice blade shape on your brush, like that. And with that you can very nice do edge highlights, like for example here on the rim, on the collar, just with the edge of the brush. Barely touching, very gently. So we will not do the Games Workshop style and edge highlight every single edge that this miniature has. No, we will just pick out some key elements that stand out as an edge. For example, here, the side of his boot. Like that. There we go. Same on the other side. This is blocked by the parchment, but that's not an issue. We can instead take this one here. So then here, the 4 vents on the backpack are also always a nice place for an edge highlight. So then also here, the backpack itself has a nice edge here along this line. Very carefully. Going around that. Turn them all around. And do it on the other side. Okay, just like that. Normally I would also do here the edge on the helmet rim, but well, it has the nice fancy red and white stripe on there, so we won't do that. But we can maybe edge highlight here this little line in the middle, very, very gently on the helmet, just like that. See? Then maybe here is a little guard plate. To give it more definition. The other guard plate is mostly obscured by his weapon holster, but we can very gently use this edge there. Then also this knee pad needs a little bit of attention. So what else? Yeah, you could go here for this armor plate, but I think that's enough for now. There are two more edges that I want to tackle. That's here at the hand, like that, and also on the other side. Like that. Okay. So, next, let's tackle the parchment now. Let's get rid of that. Some bone color. Skeleton bone right now. And we will highlight the parchment. This little tuft of grass has frizzled out my brush, so I needed to readjust it. So here, for example, the wash had made a very, very nice color transition, and I think I will leave it at that. Sometimes nature does its way, and you just keep it that way. So, let's go with some white. Mix it in. A bit of water. Just like that. Okay. And we are almost done. Now we tackle the word. Here normally on Titus's shoulder pad is the text Ultra. And we will attempt to write that now. So, you won't start with a U on this side. We will start with a T in the middle, because we want to have it symmetrically, and well, it's best to start with a middle letter. So there's the T, then the L, then the U. We start with the other side of the U than normally, because we want to have the same distance between the letters. And then the R, And ta-da! He spells ultra. Sorry if that wasn't in focus. So, let's grab a old crappy brush. And, well, we'll simply mix here this light blue into the black, and we get a nice gray. With that we can tackle the base. So let's mix in a little bit of the beige to have a different gray tone. And with that, I'll go over the stone. Then mix in a little bit more white. And voila, we have a nice stone. Then we take the gold that we have already on the palette and simply painting the shotgun shells or bolt gun shells with the bone color. We quickly go over the skull a little bit. And ta-da! He's done. One finished Lieutenant or Lieutenant or Leutnant Titus of the Ultramarines chapter. I hope you like this tutorial. If you do, please make sure to hit the like button. It helps a lot. And, well, we see us in the next video. You, Alexandra. Bye.